Hey guys, welcome back. This is By the Book and we're your married relationship coaches. I'm Sent.
I'm Sil.
And today we're talking about Love is Blind Season 3, SK and Raven. Yep, we're doing it again.
Say it ain't so.
We have been talking to you guys about the SK and Raven debacle ever since all these accusations have come out against SK cheating, etc. One of the last biggest things that came out was the legal action or the legal proceedings that were going on. Mm-hmm. And in our last video about that, we talked specifically, me in my attorney capacity,
exactly.
Whatever, we talked specifically about what legal accusations, charges, proceedings may be happening, may have arisen out of these incidents. Mm-hmm. And since that time, SK has come out and tried to clarify what those legal actions were. Mm-hmm. He started off first with a comment that he later edited, and in relevant part, we'll put this up for you guys to read. He says the allegations have been falsely represented with malicious intent. These allegations have been falsely misrepresented with malicious intent, and we are actively pursuing legal actions against some of the accusers involved. He goes on to say how sorry he is for hurting people, blah, blah, blah. So, not that relevant, but there's a little bit of a difference. He did edit that comment that he posted on, was this Instagram?
It was on Instagram day before Thanksgiving.
Okay. So, he edited this statement to say, these allegations have been falsely misrepresented with malicious intent to extort, and we are actively pursuing legal actions against the accuser. Okay, So there's just a couple of changes in that statement that are significant, because at the point at which he said we're actively pursuing legal actions, he didn't identify what legal action was being pursued. It was just legal actions. So we're still left to wonder what in the world it is that he's trying to pursue. If you watched our previous video, you know we already kind of dispelled the idea of any kind of defamation or libel or slander type claims because it wasn't likely to fly. Mm-hmm. We explained why. And throughout there, the possibility of extortion, of course, identifying the elements of extortion being a little bit easier to show, fewer in number anyway, than those for defamation. So we can talk about and break down any kind of, questions that there are about extortion. I don't think truly that he's probably going to prevail with that claim either. Mm-hmm. But first of all, where is he pursuing this action, right? Because I think most people, when they think of extortion, they think of some sort of
criminal.
Yeah, and a big criminal thing, racketeering, and you think of mobsters and things like that. Yeah. Does not have to be. You can extort on a very low level, a very low financial or value level, So even if she was like, hey, you got to pay me $5,000 or something like that, it's not too small to have an extortion claim against you. Yeah. I think one of the issues that we're looking at, though, is he suing her for extortion? Is this a tortious action? Is this a civil action where he's just suing for money? Or is he going to try to pursue it criminally? Because those are two separate things. And some states might not even have a tortious action for extortion. Not all do. Mm-hmm. But let's just presume, I haven't looked into it. I know is he from Texas?
Texas.
Okay, he's in Texas. I don't know if he then had residence in California. So it could be pursued out of there, out of Texas, out of wherever the young lady lives. We don't know. He could forum shop until he finds a place where he could sue for that action. I don't know. But regardless, if we just presume that it is allowed, the thing that we talked about in our previous video is when you have a tortious action, when you're in civil court, almost every single time, I can't think of a time where it's not the case, at least not off the top of my head, you need damages, actual damages. Because the goal in court for a tortious claim is to right the wrong that's happened to the person. It's not to punish them. It's not punitive in nature. So you want to say, hey, I lost $5,000. I want my $5,000 back. Mm-hmm. And that's what you get.
So are you saying that some kind of way he already paid her money?
Well, that's what it would have to be. Okay. if that's what happened. And something in his statement didn't really read like there was a transaction that took place to me.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it. When he said it was done with a malicious intent to extort,
Yeah.
it seemed like the extortion wasn't complete. Like the action wasn't fully, it hadn't manifest. So I don't know. Maybe he just hasn't disclosed that information for whatever reason, but he's very loose at the lips. He says a lot. I think he said too much, actually. He didn't even, I don't know why he said the word extort. He had left it out of his first statement, and he could have very well left it out. He also, as a second point that he changed in that statement, he changed it from accusers, some of the accusers, to the accuser. So he's narrowed it down to one specific person, whereas he made it seem like it was a broad spectrum of people. Like Hannah was getting sued, M was getting sued, you get a lawsuit, you get a lawsuit, everybody gets a lawsuit. It's not that anymore. So the one person that they did point to trying to extort them, I think, was Hannah. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think you guys know.
Yeah.
So could there have been an attempt to extort? Maybe. Maybe she told him that. Maybe if she was foolish enough to send him a text message or an email saying, I'm going to expose you for the cheater that you are if you don't pay me X amount of dollars or give me something of value.
Yeah.
Sure, it could be extortion. But here's the thing. In civil court, I don't think you can attempt to extort and sue somebody for that. Attempted extortion, right. Because there aren't any damages associated with attempted extortion. Yeah. So you would have to then turn that over to the criminal courts.
Yeah.
Which then means, guys, that the state has to pick up the case. Either has to be the state picks it up or the Fed picks it up. The feds would get involved if it was a matter of interstate commerce, which who knows? They may or may not be able to prove it. They're coming from different states. I kind of doubt it. I think it would be a state charge. So it would be the people versus Hannah, whatever her name is, right? Now she's got to be convicted of a crime. The standard of proof is greater.
Higher, right? Yeah.
Right. And again, his statement doesn't really ring true for a criminal charge because it's like we are pursuing legal actions against whomever. Not we've pressed charges, and turned this matter over to the police to convict this person criminally. So something about it is still saying to me that it's not a criminal action. Let me know what you guys think about that, because that's very much my speculation on the limited amount that he's given us to read. But I don't perceive it as to have been something that's been turned over to the state. And of course, the states decide if they want to pick up your case or not.
Yeah.
Like you don't have an option to exercise a criminal claim against another citizen. That's just not how it works. It always has to go from the state or the government, the feds, to this person. So I don't know what SK is doing besides going around sending like cease and desist letters. That's kind of what I think is happening.
Yeah. Because
attorneys can send anything. Honestly, we can draft up a letter that says, cease and desist this action, remove all records of, transcripts of you guys' communication, et cetera, et cetera. And if not, then we will pursue every proper legal channel against you. That don't mean that they really have legal channels to pursue, but it's a threat that works.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, a lot of times. So can I see that being more likely than him actually pursuing a tortious claim of civil extortion? Yeah. Because if he didn't pay, there's no liability there. So I hope that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah, it made a whole lot of sense to me. And with SK, it's a whole lot of mess surrounding him right now. It's just circling around him. And my personal opinion is I'm tired of talking about SK, to be honest with you. But, since we started reporting on the issues with him and issues with Raven and this whole legal thing of him possibly cheating, we got to continue to go through it since we started it. But to me, from a man's standpoint, he's taking a position of weakness, a straight position of weakness, because here he's been dealing with woman after woman, and he had no problem with his interactions with between these women until it got out into the public. And so now he wants to huff and puff, possibly sue, possibly consider legal action. For what, man? I mean, at the end of the day, I think about Will Smith and I think about Chris Rock and Will Smith slapping Chris Rock on national TV. But yet Chris didn't pursue any legal action, and he definitely could have.
He hasn't done it yet.
You know,
I don't think the statute of limitations is run.
But I don't think he is. If he was, I think he could have got his, 12, 15 million off the top, but he didn't, because I think he took a position of strength. He took a position of responsibility. Hey, maybe I did say something. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. Let me try to figure out what I did, and then I'm gonna take it out on him in my comedy. That's a fair thing to do,
I guess.
But to go through courts because you were loose with your zipper, man, come on, man. Just take your medicine. Learn from it and move on. That's the only thing a real man, a straight man can do. You were out there running crazy. You were out there with this woman, that woman, not living and acting in responsibility the way a man should. And so here you are, you got caught. Men get caught, women get caught. But here it is, you want to try to sue. Are you saying that you're trying to sue? Drop it. Just drop it.
Yeah. I honestly, let me know what you guys think about this theory. I think that he might be doing that more as an attempt to deter other people from coming forward. Because just as we said early on, when we first started reporting on these cheating incidents, I'm like, I would not be surprised if there's an influx of women, because it just seems like that's his MO. So if he knows that there's 10 more ladies out there that may very well be able to assert, some sort of accusation against him, he may be like, okay, what can I do to control this damage?
Yeah.
And I think that might be it, where people feel like, hey, if you start bringing stuff against SK, he might sue you.
Yeah. Whatever. Take your medicine like a man. Take your whooping like a man. You did the crime. Now do your time, man. Just go ahead. And even if, what's her name, Hannah. Even if Hannah did try to extort him, even if she did, I don't kind of really believe it at this particular point.
Okay.
But let's just say something comes out tomorrow, next week, or whatever, and it says that she did. It still does not erase the fact that you were running around with all of these different women simultaneously. And so I say, where is your character, in this whole situation? Take your medicine like a man and be like, hey, I was living foul. I'm learning from it, and I'm going to move on from it.
Make good on it from here on out.
Yeah.
Well, so there's a lot of people also saying Raven is suing these ladies. So.
Okay.
Do you feel the same about her? I mean, obviously she wasn't at fault in any way. Again, I'm just saying that loosely. I don't think either of them can establish a cause of action. But that's, we can get into that in the comments if you guys want to. We can talk about it more. If you want to hear another video on it, I'm open to that, where we can really get into the legal ins and outs of it. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, that there's a possible cause of action.
Yeah.
Do you think she should drop it too?
I think she should drop it too. If that's the thing, I mean, the wording of SK's statement is we. He made his earlier statement as far as what was going on, and he said, you're talking about Raven, and he said we, as far as we're looking at legal remedies for this, basically. And so that we could have been him and Raven, or it could have been him and his legal staff.
Right.
It could have been him and his family. It could have been a multitude of we's. And so if it is Raven included in that we, I think she needs to drop it. And I think she needs to say, how did I let this man pull the wool so far over my eyes to where I couldn't see what was right in front of me? And that was someone who is immature and wants to have his cake and eat it too. He wants a multitude of women. And it's just like, no. So if it is Raven, hey, baby girl, I'm sorry that you had to go through this.
Yeah.
I really am. But that's a part of this medicine that you probably got to take too, to be like, okay.
That's what you get for being on a reality TV show.
Being on reality?
Yikes.
And why did I choose this guy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Who would have thought it?
Yeah.
He had us all fooled.
You did. I feel bad for her.
Too. While we're talking about frivolous lawsuits, she might as well try to sue him as well.
Go ahead. Why not? Why not? Get on the suing bagwagon. Get him. You know, because he is the one in the middle of this storm. He's the one that's caused this. Mm-hmm. You know, by his loose actions, by him not taking responsibility for him within the confines of all of these different women. I mean, it's going to be a fallout. It's going to happen eventually. If it didn't happen right now, it was going to happen later on down the road, because there have not been any consequences for him having all of these different engagements with all of these different women. It's going to happen. Hey, full disclosure, I've been there. You know what I'm saying? In my younger years,
right?
In my younger years, I've been there. And so, you know, it's eventually going to come out. It's eventually going to happen. And me, I had to take my medicine like a man. It'd be like, okay, I hurt some feelings, and I did this, and all whatever damage I caused between this woman and that woman, I had to accept that and learn from it. And here I am, a better man because of it. Thank God. All right.
Well, guys, like I said, drop comments below, you know, about any additional legal theories or questions that you may have. We love talking about it. I do anyway. Mm-hmm. So
I'm tired of SK.
Let us know also if you agree with my husband that he should just drop it, and not try to make a bigger issue out of it and just accept what's coming to him because he knows he was wrong, and stop the cover up. Let us know if you think Raven is even involved or what's going on with her. And like, share, and subscribe, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.